And all this extra stuff, it's cool.
You voluntarily brought up the sparring yesterday.
Yeah.
Was there a specific reason for that, Daniel?
To be honest, I genuinely thought we were going to have a press conference, but no proper reason about that. You know what? But also, Nathan Gorman, before our fight, he was saying that I just heard interviews of Hrgovic constantly talking about our spar we had. And before my fight with Gorman, he was talking about my spar we had. And now he won every round, everything. But you know what? It isn't about, he ended up on his back and I want to do the same to him.
What is your version of that sparring? Could you just sum it up in like 20 seconds?
You really want to know?
Absolutely want to know.
No, you don't. No, you don't, mate. It was a hard spar. He said he was a hard spar. He said this fucking kid was tough. And but anyway, that's sparring, isn't it? It's relevant, really. Relevant. Let's go. I'm ready for a fight.
Filip Hrgovic has stated he would retire if he loses the fight to you. What do you think about that?
Nothing. If he's going to retire, let him retire. I'll retire him. Honestly, I don't feel no real anything about what he's got to say. I did a job on Big Baby and now I have to do a job on him.
It was a great win last time out for you. Again.
Those are the words of Daniel Dubois. As you guys can see, Daniel Dubois brought up sparring and his sparring with Filip Hrgovic, and Filip Hrgovic was saying some things, which I will cover in another video, which it was the revealing of the 5 versus 5 matchroom versus Queensberry, of course. And Daniel Dubois really responds to Filip Hrgovic, stating that if he loses, he will retire if he loses by Daniel Dubois. And he said, and looking at how Daniel responded, it was a trip, man, because you could tell, like, when Daniel Dubois, he's real shy. If you can tell, he's just, and you can tell he kind of got I don't care what he says, man, and he's kind of started looking around, as you guys can see and saw in this clip. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, I think Daniel Dubois fights better when intimidated, okay? When charged up, okay? I think you keep poking at a person like Daniel Dubois, that only makes him better. And the last thing you want to do with Daniel Dubois is to piss him off, which is a good thing, because I think Daniel Dubois fights better pissed. I think Jarrell Miller took him to that limit. I think Filip Hrgovic is taking him to that limit. I think, who else was it? Nathan Gordon. Nathan brought him to that limit. He was pissed off because of that. Like, see, Daniel Dubois is the type of guy that he needs to get out of his comfort zone. Because if you notice, when he was in his comfort zone, when he wasn't charged up, when he wasn't tempted or pissed off, right? Charged up. Look what he did with Joe Joyce. See, with Joe Joyce, he was arrogant. I don't think an arrogant Daniel Dubois will stand in any shape, form, or fashion. I don't think that he will be productive, successful, or any of that if he's given a certain plateau. I think if he's the underdog, I think he will fight a lot better. Because I thought Jarrell Miller was going to stop him. But Jarrell Miller ran out of gas, no doubt. But still, that a fire ignited under Daniel Dubois when he knew that Jarrell Miller was talking so much trash about him, and he knew, like, okay, I have to do something about him. And he did. And again, this is a good thing for Daniel Dubois. I think this is going to be one of the best fights on the card. I know the co-main is Zhang and Wilder, but understand, I think this is the fight that's probably going to be the best out of all those fights. Let alone the main event with, Beterbiev and Bivol, of course. But no, when you're dealing with Danny Dubois, I think, has properly been taunted and blasted. And the trash talk, I think, has affected him because he knows those sparring sessions did not go his way. You know, regardless of what he says, oh, well, he said he was a tough kid. No. Filip Hrgovic would not be talking about sparring sessions if he wasn't successful in those sparring sessions. He has that over him. That is Hrgovic's leverage on Danny Dubois. Okay, that's his leverage. And he knows, look, I beat this kid up. Let's take a look. How old is Filip Hrgovic? Maybe I said that wrong. Hold on a second. All right, let's see. See, he's 31 years old. How old is Danny Dubois? How old is Daniel Dubois? See, he's 26. So, yeah, he was a kid when they sparred. And I think Daniel wouldn't have said that, honestly. He wouldn't have said that if he knew that went in his favor. If he knew what he was claiming, oh, I'm a tough kid, or that's what he told me, I was tough. Yeah, he probably thought you was tough because you took an ass whooping. Yeah, probably. But understand this, he, like Danny Dubois, wouldn't have brought that up if he got the better hand. If he got the upper hand, he wouldn't have brought it up. He brought it up because he knew that Hrgovic has been talking about what they had, with how they shared the ring in those sparring sessions, and how he got his ass handed to him. He was young, though. So, yes, Daniel has a lot to prove. That's why this is probably going to be one of the best fights on the card. Because Danny Dubois is going to be fighting for legitimacy and fighting to show Hrgovic that, hey, I have changed. You're not going to do me like that no more. You're not going to bully me no more because you was older than me. You're like 5 years older than me. I'm going to show you that these 5 years are going to count against you because I'm better now than I was before when you was beating me up. And I'm going to show you that I can knock you out. This fight is going to be a very competitive, emotional, high-spirited fight. But you guys tell me what you think of Danny Dubois responding to Filip Hrgovic's "If I lose by Danny Dubois, I will retire." Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.